Coming up, March Madness is known for its highs and lows, and that's true for VCU men's basketball. From A-10 champions to one of the biggest comebacks in NCAA history to closing out their season with a final loss in the tournament. We've got the highlights in this show.
1, 2. Ooh, you're good.
That's right, Naomi, and here's a game changer in sports. One event is giving athletes with disabilities a chance to compete like never before. What families want to know when it comes to adaptive basketball, boxing, and more is also coming up.
We have a look at how Iranian Americans and other groups are reacting to the ongoing war in Iran. And with new developments with the conflict in the Middle East, we look into how Iranian war can impact you and your spending, especially at the gas pump. VCU InSight starts now.
Hello and welcome to VCU InSight. I'm Hassan Perez.
This is our third newscast of the spring semester. I'm Naomi Smalls.
The situation in Iran is still heating up with missile and drone attacks across the region and threats to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. That waterway is a key route for the world's oil supply, and it's starting to affect gas prices here at home. AAA says Virginia's average gas price is now up to around $3.82 a gallon. But I know that gas prices in Richmond are up to almost $4. Those prices have climbed more than 20 cents in just 1 week, and officials say they could keep going up. President Trump posted on social media Sunday, giving Iran a 48-hour deadline to fully reopen the strait. If not, he said the U.S. would attack Iranian power plants and cut off their energy.
As the conflict in the Middle East continues to escalate, many are divided on their opinions about the war in Iran. We are seeing both protests against the war and celebrations in support of the regime change pop up all over the nation.
VCU InSight reporter Sophia Shokrai talked to both sides.
Nobel Peace Prize.
I'm standing at Upper Senate Park in D.C., where hundreds of people have gathered to show their support for the Iranian people, their shared goal being a free and democratic Iran. Iranian American committees from 40 states are here to support and welcome the announcement of a transitional government. Organizer Nasser Sharif from California had this to say about the war.
The situation that we're in is as a result of more than 4 decades of appeasement towards the Iranian regime. We believe change should come from within by Iranian people and their organized resistance.
On February 28th, the United States and Israel sent targeted bomb strikes to Iran, killing Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and many other top-ranking military officials. The head spokesperson for the Iranian Health Ministry, Hossein Kermanpour, has stated in an X post that over 1,200 people have been killed and over 10,000 have been injured in Iran as of March 8th. The U.S. Central Command has reported the deaths of 13 U.S. service members in this war as of March 13th. Sharif and the OIAC support a free, secular, and democratic Iran that can be achieved by the Iranian people, but not everyone feels the same way. Some support the Iranian regime and are against U.S. intervention. The Richmond Liberation Center hosted a teach-in about the history and war in Iran and had this to say about U.S. intervention in Iran.
There's less justification for intervention in Iran than there has ever been, and even before it was never justified. The United States has no business going around the world pretending to spread democracy, and particularly now when there is such a lack of democracy in the United States.
People gathered in Richmond's Monroe Park to protest the war in Iran and to show their support for the regime. Many Iranians may not agree with U.S. intervention. They also do not agree with the Ayatollah or the Iranian government. Malinowski Liu disagrees.
Will staunchly defend the Islamic Republic and, the new Ayatollah that is selected.
They say that they support Iran and its people.
The current Iranian government, the main thing that's important to me is that they have been defending Iranian people from the United States, from the British, from the other imperial powers of Europe for the last 45 years.
When asked what Sharif thinks of Americans who support the Iranian regime, he had this to say.
I've seen footages in massacring young generation for just, asking for their rights. And how could we support that?
Reporting from Richmond and Washington, D.C. for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Sophia Shokrai.
The VCU men's basketball team has taken the world by storm after winning the conference championship and upsetting North Carolina 5 days later in March Madness. Marcus Leary and Ben Rikosh were on site over the weekend and have more.
The month of March is able to produce the highest of highs and the lowest of lows in the sport of basketball. The VCU Rams season comes to a close here in Greenville, South Carolina, but that's not to say there wasn't some history to be made here this weekend.
The Rams got sent home in the round of 32 here in Greenville, South Carolina, going up against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. However, a 19-point comeback has put them on the map. The second largest comeback in NCAA tournament history and the first national tournament win for VCU since 2016. Star guard Terrence Hill Jr. coming off the bench scored 34 points, a career high, and the most amount of points scored by a VCU player in the tournament. They did get sent home, however, today. Andrei Stojakovic, 21 points for the Fighting Illini, very well coached by Brad Underwood.
Year one of the Phil Martelli Jr. era comes to a close, but it was an amazing season. A-10 champions, multiple awards in the regular season, and a win in March Madness.
The Rams have gained national notoriety for this win, but it's all coming to a close for their season. From Greensville, South Carolina, and for the newsroom at VCU and VCU InSight, reporting at March Madness, it's Marcus Leary.
And I'm Ben Rikosh.
Weeks after the mass shooting in Shockoe Bottom, local law enforcement is still keeping an eye on the area. St. Patrick's Day is one of the biggest party weekends of the year, and VCU InSight reporter Dakota Griffin was in Shockoe Bottom, where Richmond police made sure people were staying safe.
The sun hasn't even set, and RPD is already shutting down 18th Street in Shockoe Bottom.
I only come down here for St. Patrick's Day. Besides that, I don't come down here.
And with big crowds and plenty of drinks and a long night ahead, Richmond police say it's important to make smart choices. Just over a month ago, 2 people were killed and 7 were injured in a mass shooting in Shockoe Bottom. So Richmond police increased patrols in the area for the night.
Around 6 or 7 o'clock, people are going to start heading to Shockoe Bottom to enjoy the nightlife. Some people are heading to bars or pubs like Shanae's right here. But people are telling me that they're not going to be testing their luck this St. Patrick's Day, and their top priority is safety.
Officers say if you're celebrating, don't push your luck. Pace yourself by drinking between alcoholic beverages. Plan for a designated driver or call a rideshare. Police also say if you do plan to drink, leave your gun secured at home. Friends Audrey Brown and Izzy Crawford don't plan on drinking tonight.
Sober fun is also just as fun as any type of intoxication, anything like that. You can have a great time no matter what you're doing, and don't put anybody else at risk.
But for Jay Jones, he says that he and his friends are drinking, but they definitely don't plan on driving.
Yes, we Uber. We were at Shamrock, and then we went to River City Road. Just here with my boys, just had to have a good time. You know, we just want to drink, eat some good food, vibe with the friends.
Virginia State Police reminds drivers that buzz driving is drunk driving, and they typically make more arrests over this weekend. This message sticking for most, and getting home safe matters more than keeping the party going.
I don't feel like there's any circumstance in which you should drive intoxicated or an influence of anything, honestly.
Reporting in Richmond for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Dakota Griffin.
Students at VCU's campus say biking and walking across the city can feel like a daily risk. According to the Richmond Police Department, there have been 6 pedestrian deaths in Richmond in 2026 so far. Victoria Chambers takes a look at VCU's safety measures and how campus police are trying to help.
On VCU's busy campus streets, students weave through traffic every day, hoping drivers see them in time.
Here's cyclist Jody Stevens with her experience riding on campus.
Have I had any close calls? Yes. Too many to count, honestly.
She says experiences like that have forced her to change the way she rides.
You have to see them before they see you. Just really kind of got to keep your head on the swivel.
For several years, VCU has been making changes such as more speed bumps, left turn hardening on turns, and adjustment to traffic light timers to provide a safer campus. Police are also heavily involved as well.
So right now we're conducting Operation Safe Streets. We're 4 weeks in.
VCU police officer David Pulliam took me along for part of his shift to see what new measures this safety operation includes.
So things like the timing of the lights have changed so that you won't get all greens. You might get a red, a green, a red, a green. So with the turn hardening is throughout some of our intersections through the VCU campus, we have kind of extended the sidewalk out so you can't make these turns without having to take a little bit of extra time.
City officials say these infrastructure improvements, as well as additional speed bumps, are all a part of the solution, but staying safe is up to everyday choices. This PSA has been sent out to the community.
Make sure you have your helmets on. Make sure you have a light on the front of your bike and the back of your bike so people can see you clearly.
Reporting in Richmond for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Victoria Chambers.
Virginia's 2026 General Assembly session ended on March 14th without passing a state budget.
Capitol News Service reporter El Cota joins us in the studio with more on some of the bills making its way to the governor's desk. El?
Thanks, Hasyan and Naomi. First, take a look at the work state lawmakers did. More than 3,600 pieces of legislation were introduced this session and approximately 1,200 bills finalized and sent to the governor. A minimum wage increase to $15 an hour over 2 years was passed by the General Assembly, as well as historic legislation that allows government employees to collectively bargain. The legislature also passed a slew of gun control legislation, including a bill that prohibits the sale of assault firearms outright. Another bill allows Virginia to establish a retail cannabis market at the start of 2027, as well as eliminate a loophole that allowed Virginians to possess, not buy or sell, marijuana. One of these bills gives Virginia public school boards the option to create instructional material regarding the January 6 U.S. Capitol insurrection. Fairfax Delegate Army veteran Dan Helmer is the bill sponsor. It requires lessons taught on the January 6 attack to describe it as a violent attempt to overturn the 2020 presidential election and prohibits saying it was peaceful or tied to election fraud. Supporters say it ensures every student is entitled to learn the truth about the attack and its impact on democracy. Opponents argue it could politicize education with the risk of indoctrinating students rather than encouraging critical thinking, but there is concern over what age group may learn about the attack. A newly passed bill will require increased transparency on menstrual product ingredients lists, which are not currently required to do. House Bill 998 states that all ingredients from products like pads and tampons must be labeled from most to least used. This excludes certain confidential ingredients which still must be listed by a common name such as fragrance. Anna Pollack, a global community health professor, says the chemicals in these products are a form of chemical exposure affecting those who menstruate, as the body tissue can easily absorb them.
There are toxicants, toxic chemicals that are part of these menstrual products that this could also create a possibility of exposure for people who use menstrual products.
But in all likelihood, she says the products are not causing extreme harm. The bill will be implemented January 1st, 2027. Starting next year, drivers could be caught on camera for traffic violations at crosswalks and stop signs. Lawmakers again passed legislation to record violations in school crossing zones, highway work zones, and high-risk speed corridors. Last year, a similar measure was vetoed by Governor Glenn Youngkin, who said the systems were not fully developed or perfected. He also claimed their usage must balance the interests of public safety and the privacy of the public. Joseph Chauffeur, a professor emeritus of civil and environmental engineering at Northwestern University, says these monitoring systems are often met with resistance despite their efficacy.
The reason people resist it is they don't want to get caught. Okay, so that's really simple.
The legislation aims to reduce pedestrian injuries and deaths at a time when Richmond has already seen at least 4 pedestrian fatalities. Like speeding cameras, you would get a notice in the mail and pay the fine. Reporting for VCU Capital News Service, I'm El Coda. Back to you, Hasyan and Naomi.
Yeah, gotta look both ways. Thanks, Elle, for joining us. Drivers are dodging more than just traffic, though. The number of potholes in the Richmond metro area are a real problem, especially after the storms this winter.
People want to know, when will the potholes be repaired? VCU InSight reporter Almany Hairston has what you need to know when it comes to this pothole blitz.
As you're driving around the city, take note of the potholes. VDOT wants you to report the location so they can come and fix them.
VDOT says potholes can form any time of the year, but they are especially common after winter storms. When snow and ice melts, water seeps into cracks in the asphalt. As temperatures drop, that water freezes, causing the pavement to weaken. VDOT is asking locals to report potholes online on their website. VDOT maintains roads in Chesterfield County and Hanover County, as well as interstates and U.S. highways in Henrico County. Other roads in Henrico are maintained by Henrico County Public Works, which says it is currently prioritizing pothole repairs. Axios checked the RVA 311 website and found 300 pothole complaints have been filed, but only 32 have been complete. Officials told Axios Richmond has been on a pothole blitz for the last couple of weeks.
If you run over a pothole and your car gets damaged, you can file a claim in 6 months and get your car reimbursed by the city. To find out how, check out the city's website. Reporting for Richmond and VCU InSight in the newsroom, I'm Almany Hairston.
VCU is reshaping parts of Richmond. The university says these projects reflect growth and a long-term investment in the city. But for students and residents who live close to these projects, that growth can come with unwanted noises and traffic. VCU InSight reporter Annabelle Granger sits down with the director of construction at VCU to discuss some of the current projects.
VCU is working on one of its largest projects yet. The CoStar Center for Arts and Innovation on Broad Street is hard to miss, and university leaders say it represents the rapid growth of VCU and its art program. Director of Construction Management at VCU, Matthew Magruder, says the project is more than just a new building.
It just highlights the success of VCU and the arts program, our impact to the community, and just how much VCU helps foster, this excitement of the arts programs.
The $253 million building sits close to campus housing. Yoki Cabrera, a resident assistant at Brant Hall, says the noise has become part of her daily life.
I think I've kind of grown used to it now because I hear it so often that when it comes to it, I'm just like, oh, I hear, I wake up, I go back to sleep.
The construction also closes down roads and sidewalks and limits parking around campus.
I have to park my car in a parking deck and it's next to the construction. I'm never getting away from it. It's always there. The road's closed right there. So having to park my car and then having to walk back. I see it, I deal with it, I see it from my view, I hear it from my window pretty frequently.
Some construction is so close to campus that you can see it from even Monroe Park, while other construction, such as the Athletic Village, is across town, far from the VCU campus.
VCU's Athletic Village, located near the Diamond District, is projected to be complete by the fall of this year. With multiple projects underway across the city, detours have become common. VCU leaders say they work closely with city officials to minimize these disruptions.
We exhaustively work with the city and right-of-way folks to look at traffic patterns and pedestrian patterns at every angle. Right?
Reporting from Richmond for VCU InSight in the newsroom at VCU, I'm Annabelle Granger.
And now on to more sports. Next month, the new CarMax Park will open, with the Richmond Flying Squirrels playing its first game against the Altoona Curve.
Yeah, and I was actually there. I'm so stoked. I got an inside look at the new stadium during the Squirrels' annual Nutsies block party. However, there's still a tense legal standoff involving VCU city officials and the Flying Squirrels over the use of the stadium. the shadow of the old Diamond Stadium, Flying Squirrels fans are celebrating at Nutsy's block party right next to the new CarMax Park. The new $130 million complex features a 360-degree concourse for watching non-stop action and a field-level dugout suite for optimal viewing. Fans like Lindsay West are looking forward to more baseball.
I came to Richmond for VCU, so I came to college in 2019, and I've probably been coming to the stadium ever since. I love baseball.
However, there are still some issues occurring behind the scenes regarding the opening of CarMax Park. You see, VCU was also planning on playing here as well, but the deal fell through. However, the mayor, as well as VCU, say they are committed to making a deal work out in the end.
Some loyal fans, like Katrina Moore, are unaware of the underlying dispute.
Nobody that I've spoken with has any idea really what's going on.
In a recent investigation from Richmond BizSense, the Flying Squirrels said the city owes them $6.5 million in costs and have threatened to sue. They also are hesitant to share the field with VCU, fearing extra games will spike maintenance costs.
And I know that's like unfortunate for a lot of people, but it's like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes things just won't go as planned. Things aren't perfect. I'm sure the city and the Flying Squirrels will figure it out, as well as VCU.
But some fans, like Hannah Likens, don't think either of the parties are to blame for the expenses.
We pack out the most for any minor league baseball team in like the entire nation. And so I don't think that's a responsibility of VCU. I don't think it's a responsibility of the Flying Squirrels. If anything, I think it's a responsibility of the MLB.
The first game in the CarMax Stadium is on March 7th, but they will hold the Taking Flight Festival on March 26th, which will be their inaugural event as an appreciation for all the work contributed to construct the stadium. Tickets for the first game are sold out, but season tickets are still available for purchase. And one Richmond group is making sure everyone can be included when it comes to playing sports. You were there, Naomi.
Yeah, that's right. The Adaptive Sports Festival hosted by Sportable is back. I was at the Henrico Sports and Events Center where communities came together to explore new opportunities for adaptive athletes. More than 20 sports, 50 vendors, and hundreds of people filled the Henrico Sports and Events Center for the East Coast's largest showcase of sports and recreational opportunities for people with disabilities.
This is the first festival that's come back since I've been to the first festival 3 years ago, and it's just as awesome, just as cool.
Tara Shetterly's life changed after being paralyzed at just 16 years old. Her life changed again when she was introduced to adaptive sports through Sportable in 2023.
About 2 years after being paralyzed, and I immediately just really fell in love with adaptive sports, and sitting in a tennis chair just mesmerized, and I signed up for Sportable the next day after, and here I am again.
Now 22, Shetterly has become a dual sport athlete, competing in adaptive tennis and wheelchair racing, as well as working as a content creator and disability advocate. The majority of people really only know about the most popular adaptable sport, wheelchair basketball. Here at the Adaptable Sports Festival, athletes are introduced to a variety of different sports, like golf, soccer, archery, and boxing.
3, 4, one more, 5. All right.
Joanna Bonilla, president of the Adaptive Fitness Legion, knew this festival was the place to be in order to get the word out about the growing sport of adaptive boxing.
1, 2, split.
Woo! Bonilla is also a United Adaptive Boxing Council middleweight champion. Her experience and success with the sport has pushed her to become an advocate for women in sports.
My goal is to bring more ladies into the sports. The guys are, of course, more interested into boxing, but my goal is to introduce boxing to the ladies and to show that we are powerful enough to do it, confident enough to do it, and that we can still defend ourselves. I know it's intimidating when punches are coming at us, but my goal is to show that boxing is for everybody.
Athletes like Shetterly and Bonilla have more to share than just their stories. They have passion that will continue to bring communities together in and out of sports. Now back to VCU's men's basketball. Just a few weeks ago, the VCU Rams were crowned back-to-back Atlantic 10 champions.
That game punched the team's ticket to March Madness, where they made history in the first round. Let's flip back the calendars to February and check in with Marcus Leary to see how the Rams got to where they are now.
With the wire-to-wire victory over Fordham, VCU earned their 13th conference win. VCU won the tip. However, neither team scored for the first 3 minutes. The first points of the game came from VCU guard Brandon Jennings, who sunk a three from the left side of the arc. Both teams exchanged baskets for a spell before VCU turned up the heat on offense, going on a 15-3 run that was highlighted by back-to-back threes from VCU freshman Nick Lewis. Lewis, a top 60 recruit out of high school, credits his coaches and teammates for his success as an underclassman.
I just really try to play for VCU and play for all my teammates. So, I just really try to go out there for them and just try to put my all out there for them. So, that's really my mentality, how I approach it.
Fordham guard Day-Day Reeves tried to lead his team on a run of their own. Reeves was a standout for Fordham, scoring a game-high 22 points. Despite the slow start and finish to the first half, VCU was able to create a quiet 15-point lead, outscoring Fordham 37-22 headed into the break. Halftime wasn't without some emotions. After a week of homecoming activities at VCU, the homecoming court for each class was named. The Gold Rush Dancers, VCU's dance team, also hosted some of their alumni for a halftime performance. Following the halftime homecoming festivities, Fordham went on a 13-2 run to cut the VCU lead to as little as 2 points. Despite this being VCU head coach Phil Martelli Jr.'s first year at the school, he had a lot to say about what homecoming meant to him.
We work every day and have worked every day that this group's been together to make this fan base, this alumni base, this student population, this whole community, we work every day to make them proud.
And VCU fans have a lot to be proud of. The score at the end of the day, 82-63 in favor of the black and gold. Reporting from the Stuart C. Siegel Center for VCU News and the newsroom at VCU, this is Marcus Leary.
Muslims around the world just finished celebrating Ramadan. During that time, students at VCU came together to break their fast and share their traditions on campus. VCU InSight reporter Almany Hairston shares light on the traditions during the month.
Muslim students at VCU will break their fast tonight with a single date and then continue on into their feast. It's all a part of Ramadan, a month of fasting, community, and faith.
After fasting from sunrise to sunset, many begin their meal with a date before sharing a larger dinner known as iftar. For students on campus, the gathering offers a chance to connect with others and celebrate their faith together. Miriam Feki, an international student from Lebanon, shares how gatherings like this make campus feel like home.
I think it's really great to have such events on campus because as an international student who is spending her second Ramadan away from home, it's really amazing to have events like this to feel a sense of community, to not feel that away from home, because home is really wherever you go, as long as you share it with the right people, and nothing is better than sharing Ramadan with the community.
According to a recent Commonwealth Times article, there are approximately 2,000 Muslim students at VCU.
After a long day without food or water, tonight ends with something much bigger than a meal: connection. And for these students, that's what makes this month so meaningful.
Another successful year for the annual Churchill Irish Festival. Hundreds of people came out wearing their best green outfits to celebrate all things Celtic. VCU InSight reporter Sophia Shukrai joined the festivities and has more. Sophia.
Walking through Churchill, I'm surrounded by green. This is the 40th year for the annual Churchill Irish Festival, a two-day event that was created to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. You can enjoy a variety of drinks like Guinness and Irish coffee, food like corned beef and cabbage, local vendors and craftspeople, live music, Scottish and Irish dancing, and more. The festival is put on by St. Patrick's Church, which is Richmond's second oldest Catholic church and was founded by an Irish congregation. Located at 25th and Broad Streets, the festivities kicked off with a parade at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and on Sunday, a Hilltopper 5K at 9 a.m. In terms of live music, there were local Virginia bands that played 2 different stages, including folk rock group Tin Can Fish Band and the Press Gang, who sing traditional sea shanties. The festival had free parking with 2 shuttles that pick people up and drop them off near the festival. All ages are welcome every year, but pets are not allowed unless they are service animals. Visitors were asked to contribute a $5 entry fee. The proceeds will go to a variety of local organizations like St. Patrick's Church, Child Savers, and the Churchill Boys and Girls Club. Reporting from Churchill for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU, I'm Sophia Shokrai.
Turning now to your weather forecast, here's a look at what you can expect for the next 2 days.
We're looking at some warmer weather with temperatures in the lower 60s tomorrow and then heating up to a high of 78 degrees on Thursday. Thursday, however, is going to be your verified best weather day of the week. Great opportunity to get outdoors and enjoy that weather. We aren't looking at any rain in the forecast, but there will be some cloud coverage throughout the day.
Thank you for tuning in to VCU InSight. Our last show airs on April 9th, so make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And follow us on Instagram to stay up to date on the news you need to know. See you next time for VCU InSight and the newsroom at VCU. I'm Hassan Perez.
And I'm Naomi Smalls. Thank you for watching.